order their signature 𝗪𝗪𝘘𝗃𝗀𝗃. Hello everyone, I'm Kelvin.
I'm Magnus.
I'm Sarah.
And you are watching the first episode of Can Eat or Not.
So when I eat this sambal, right, it's not sweet, it's not spicy.
Have the really strong fish taste. Yeah, so it doesn't really shine from there.
3 thumbs up. This means restaurant 𝗪𝗪𝗘𝗃𝗁 Nanyang chicken rice confirm can eat.
We are going to keep on upgrading this home for the children to have a better life and a better environment to let them grow up.
But the stars was aligned and one thing led to another and I became who I am right now.
And we order. Okay, right now we are finally live. Hi guys, hi ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in into the 10th edition of Without Reservation Facebook Live, brought to you by Focus Time and also HCK Capital Group. Okay, right now we have 9 viewers already. Right now we let the viewers to build up for the bay before we kickstart the live. Come on guys, come in. So please, I have a request for all of you who are watching right now. Please help us to like this live video, okay? Click that like button on this live video. Share the live video out in your WhatsApp, in your Instagram, to your friends and family. Share it out on your Facebook profile. Share this live video link. And also, if you have any questions throughout the live later, please feel free to ask, okay? We will be more than happy to answer your questions. And also, last but not least, like and follow Focus Time on Facebook. Like and follow Focus Time on Facebook. Yep. Okay, guys. So this is the 10th edition of Without Reservation Facebook Live. And Without Reservation is a live sharing and conversation sessions between individuals from all walks of life. Okay, they are sharing their experiences, their upbringings, their knowledge from their respective industry to you. Okay, so we hope that you can learn something new every day and also learn something new for you throughout the live, okay, throughout Without Reservation Facebook Live. And I guess without further ado, let us kickstart the live. And here I have with me my honorable guest, Miss 𝗪𝗓𝗓, the founder of Private Art Lessons KL. Hi, Miss 𝗪𝗓𝗓. Say hi to everyone who are watching.
Hi everyone. Hi Kelvin.
Hi, Miss
Thanks for having me Focus Time.
Oh, well, you are welcome. You are welcome. We are more than happy to host you right here. So, Miss 𝗪𝗓𝗓, why not give a little bit of brief introduction about yourself to the audiences who are watching?
Sure. So I'm the founder of Private Art Lessons KL. My background is in fine art. So I have a bachelor's in fine art from the California Institute of Art. I was there and from 2013 until 2017. And so I came back to Malaysia in 2017 and I was working in a few art galleries while I was back. But then I realized that the gallery work wasn't really for me and I really wanted to enrich or give like adults and kids a more proper like art education. So then I founded Private Art Lessons KL in 2017.
Oh, I see. So just now you mentioned that you study in the California Institution of Art, right?
Yes.
Oh, so can you give us a little bit more details about what is the life over there in California and what did you went through while you are studying in the Institution of Art in California? And I'm quite interested. Just now you mentioned that you have worked in several art galleries before, right?
Yes.
So can you also tell us like actually what are the experiences there, like working in art galleries? Because for me, right, actually I wouldn't consider myself a true artsy-fartsy person,
Okay.
but I have interest in them. So sometimes I will look at some of the art installations or stuff like that from the museum for the art galleries, and I find them very fascinating. So actually I'm interested to find out more about what is the life there.
So in California, the school that I went to was quite progressive and very liberal. So in the classes, we didn't exactly learn how to paint or how to draw. We more focused on things like how to think about painting, how to add the thought, how to talk about your art mostly. So I tried to bring that sort of concept or that sort of like teaching method to my students here. So we focus a lot on why are we making art in the first place? Instead of just copying painting like line for line, it's also important to think about, why am I doing this artwork? Why am I choosing the type of colors that I do? And that can also tell us a lot about who we are as a person, the choices that we make. And so when I came back here, I thought that I wanted to sort of gain a little bit of experience with the Malaysian art scene. So I thought, what place better than to work at a art gallery? So the first art gallery that I worked at was a French art gallery in Malaysia called Galerie d'Artistes. So I was there for about 2 years, sort of, I was interning there, sort of helping the owner set up some exhibitions. And then from there, I moved to AP Art Gallery, where I was the business development executive. So I was co-creating some of the exhibitions there. I was handling the sales and the marketing. And then when I felt that I've sort of gained enough experience, then I decided to open up my own business.
I see. Wow. It's really interesting and fascinating. Okay, so right now, I have a question for you. Because you are the owner of a private art lessons kind of a business, right? Center.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between it and also comparing it with the traditional art centers that we can find?
So I feel like art is definitely not something like other subjects that you learn in school, like math or science, where the teacher sort of teaches one thing and then all the students have to follow like a certain formula to get like one answer. Definitely art is something that's very individual. So kids or adults have their own preference in what they want to learn. So maybe Calvin, like you in school, would be really good at painting and I would be really good at drawing. But if we were put into a class and we were graded on like sculpture, we would both think like, oh man, we're such bad artists. But that's like not true. And I think everyone has their own strengths, but it's just about finding the strength and also like trying to cultivate it in the lessons. So for the art centers in Malaysia, like I have taught like at a few, I won't say which ones, but I feel that it's a very like one-off sort of thing, where for adults, they go for like art jamming, or they just go for like a paint and sip class. And they go to the art center for maybe about 2 or 3 hours. They do one painting and then they just go home. So there's not really much creativity there except for following the instructor in front, whatever they're painting. And then as for kids, they just go to the center and they're crammed with other kids of different levels, different interests, and they all do the same thing. So in the end, it's all like copy and paste, like color within the lines.
Like a very straightforward lessons, like not out of the box kind of, right?
Yeah. So what we do, so I thought that private art lessons would be, it's like quite a niche, I feel, in the Malaysian market. So what we do is that we actually go to the student's house, so the parents like don't have to send them anywhere, and they can actually be comfortable in the space that they're making their art. And then they let us know, hey, like Miss K, I really want to learn iPad drawing, so something like that. So then so we'll go to their house and teach them how to use the software on the iPad. Or maybe they're like, Miss K, I really want to know how to, when I went to the museum, I saw a painting of, it was just a red painting. So what does that mean? So we're like, oh, how about we teach you like art critique or something like that. So that's really important for kids to learn things like that. So by offering private art lessons, the kid can work at their own pace. They can work in a space that they're comfortable with. We cater to what they actually want to learn. So maybe they're not interested in learning like painting, they're more interested in sculpture. And then at the same time, we can see their improvement. They improve a lot more quickly because it's more personal, a more personal lesson. Yeah.
Okay, so I must have imagined that your private art lessons, you teach all different types of like art lessons, right?
Yeah.
So can you please briefly guide us through like what kind of services do you offer during your private art
We do
lessons? Because just now you mentioned about sculpture, also like painting and drawing, and I'm
Yeah.
sure there are many forms of different types of art lessons that you must be offering.
Yeah, so we do a lot of the traditional mediums, which are like oil painting, watercolor, acrylic. Then when we move on to sculpture, we do like plaster sculptures, ceramics, clay, and then we also do like a bit of more like unconventional mediums like lino cut printing or digital art, so like Photoshop or
Photoshop.
Adobe Illustrator,
Oh wow.
Procreate. What else?
Wow,
There's quite a
that's
lot.
a lot. That's a
Oh,
lot.
like color pencil, ink,
That's a lot.
like Chinese Chinese painting. Yeah, we do a lot.
You know,
So it really depends on what the student wants to learn.
you know, a little fun fact is that when I was young, when I was a kid, I used to love to draw on my textbooks in primary school. So I always draw the matchstick men. Like I draw comics out of them, and my mom thought that I love drawing, so she sent me to one of the traditional art centers that you have mentioned just now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it turns out I don't have, actually I don't have, what do you say? I love to draw, but I don't have a knack for it. And then
No.
actually I'm partially colorblind also.
Oh,
like
that's
I can look at colors, but I cannot differentiate them.
We had a teacher in our company who was fully colorblind.
Fully colorblind,
but he
like
was
black and white.
He was like black and white, but he
Oh.
was still able to teach art, which was quite interesting.
Oh, that's
because
very cool.
he would pick up like the student wants to make like orange, right? So he would like hold up like two colors, and then he would say like, is this red? Like, is this yellow? And the student has to be like, yes, it's red and yellow. And then he was able to teach a class.
Oh, that must be very difficult for him to actually teach like art lessons, right?
Yeah,
because
but
color
it
is
was
a very
quite
important.
interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, but a lot of his so his main specialty was actually pencil drawing, because that's black and white.
Yeah, true. Yes. So for my case is that because I have a hard time differentiating colors, like maybe light green or dark green, or like maybe sometimes turquoise looks like green, or sometimes like light brown looks a bit like green. So I have a hard time differentiating them. So I always get scolded by the teacher.
Oh no.
Yeah, because that time we are using the crayon box with like more than 50 colors, the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so inside they have like all variants of palettes of like the same color, right? Like red, they have like 5 or 6 different colors of red.
Yeah.
So, and then the teacher has to ask me to go back and memorize all the colors. Yeah, so after that, and then I just quit.
No.
Yeah, so this is a little bit backstory about my experiences with art.
Yeah, I definitely think that like that is like a lot of parents come to me saying that they have joined these art centers, but their kids get really discouraged because the teacher is like, this artwork is good and this one is bad. But by right, there's no bad or good in art.
True,
it's just about how, especially like in younger kids, like we try not to tell them like this is bad or this is good, or you're not doing it correct. It's more about building like the confidence, because later on when they go into their like adult life, like you, Calvin, then you'll be like, oh, like I'm just not good, and then they never like go back to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now I fully understand why. So should give them the full control on what they are trying to do, right?
Yeah, and we sort of just like guide them with the materials.
I see. So just now you mentioned that the different types of art lessons that you offer. So can you please also guide us through like what a typical lessons session might be like for you with your students?
Okay, so our teachers will schedule the lesson with our students. Some people, they do once a week, twice a week, 2 times a month. It's really up to them. So we'll go to their house with all of the materials. So the student literally has to just come with them and the table, and the teacher will bring all of the materials. Then we will start the lesson, and we will usually go through how are we going to use the type of materials. If it's like a how-to class, but usually we do include art history into our lesson. So let's say we were doing a artwork maybe based on like Picasso. Then we would do like a short art history lesson on Picasso. So that way, when the kid goes and does the artwork, then they know that, oh, like this sort of brushstroke, oh, I'm doing this because this is the way that Picasso did it. So that they know, it's like sort of going back to what I said before, it's like finding purpose and meaning on what you're doing. Yeah. And then if sometimes we get a little bit restless, then we always put on some music in the class. If we need to take a break, then we do like some wrist stretches, and we like shake it out.
Music's from Beethoven or Mozart, like that?
No, depending on what the kid wants. Sometimes we do like pop music, we do some like classical music.
Okay. Wow. So okay, just now you've mentioned that art critique, right? Like you also teach your students about art critique. Actually, how it works, like because this form of art, like we always look at fashion show as an example. People will find that, wow, this catwalk, what are the fashions? What are they wearing? Like some people will find that tedious, but some people will think that, oh, this is a form of art. So how do you teach them to conduct the critique of a form of art?
So I always tell them to first I show them like a piece of artwork.
Okay.
I ask them to describe the painting. So what sort of colors are in there? How many humans are there? What do you see like in the brushstrokes? And then we go into like analyzing each thing that we describe. So what does the color blue mean? Or what do you think the title means for this artwork? And then in the end, we come to a conclusion, and we sort of like compare our critiques. So maybe my critique of the artwork is very much different from yours.
Very different, yes, definitely.
Yeah. And that's how we like have a conversation about it. So next time when they go to a museum, then they can properly sort of like analyze the artwork instead of going to it and being like, oh, this is pretty and this is not pretty.
I see. So I'm sure that everyone has different forms of opinions or critiques towards that art. Okay, very interesting. Okay, so before we move on to the next question, to those of you who are watching, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook, Focus Time, and also help us to like and share this video out to your friends and family. We are more than happy if you do so. And if you have any questions right now throughout the live, just ask, okay? Just comment down below in the comment section of this live video. We will answer your questions one by one, okay? And I have with me Clinton Hall, who greets and say, hi, Miss 𝗟𝗓𝗄𝗏. And also from 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗏.
Hi, Clinton Ho.
Hello, Kaylin. Okay, so why no one say hi to me? I'm just kidding. Okay, so Clinton or Miss 𝗟𝗓𝗏 or any other of you who are watching, if you have any questions to ask, just feel free to ask in the comment section, okay? We'll be more than happy to answer your inquiries. Right now, we'll move on. Okay, so as we all know that as year goes by, technology is becoming more and more advanced, as it's been taking place, replacing a lot of our everyday work in our daily lives. So how about art or creativity? What do you think, how has technology changed creativity in everyday person's life?
So definitely technology is being used in our everyday life. We look at the screen almost sometimes 5 or 6 hours a day without even knowing it.
Yes.
So with adults too, kids are also doing the same thing. Now in school, instead of using pen and paper, we use laptops to take notes.
Yes, correct.
When we watch like films, we don't use CDs or VHS anymore. We use like Netflix or like Disney Plus. So definitely art has been changing with technology in terms that art is also becoming a lot more digital, and we've seen that in the introduction of like NFTs. So NFTs are like sort of digital artwork that people have been selling for like a lot of money.
Yeah, I've just read about it. Like they are selling memes for like few hundred thousands of US dollars.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't fully understand it yet, but I think like that's definitely the direction that art is
Like
taking.
So how it works, like you have the rights, you own that. Let's say that that meme lah. Okay, we are talking about a funny meme right here. So once you bought it for like 1 million and then you own it. So what does it mean? Like, but we can still circulate that meme around, right?
Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure how it works, but I think it's like let's say like we have a Doge meme. So the person who created the Doge meme can sell rights to it. So let's say like Kelvin, you buy a Doge meme. It doesn't mean that you don't own it.
Okay.
You just own like one edition of it.
Then what do I gain out of it?
I'm not too sure.
This is a new thing also. I've been reading about it. I'm like, huh? So that in my mind, it's like, do they remove all the Doge memes from the internet and only you can?
No, I think
that's very weird.
It still circulates. I really don't know so much about it, but I think that's definitely the direction that like the art scene is like moving towards. So maybe like in the future, like buying physical copies of paintings, I'm not sure if it will maybe become
like
I wouldn't say obsolete, but maybe not as valuable.
Because the main purpose,
it's a weird concept.
You have to hang it in your house, but right now you have a digital painting, so for me I cannot accept that.
Yeah, but maybe like the future, like upcoming generations, it will be a norm for them.
Okay. Wow.
So,
okay, so how about any other things you want to add on for like this technology stuff that we are talking about
so
right now?
I think a lot of kids now, they're learning coding and like web development in school, and definitely there's a lot of programs coming up for kids to learn these things, because like the future is in technology, right? So in our classes, we, like I said before, we do help kids. Sometimes we do like animation classes, or like I said, Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, because I think like prior to maybe like 10 years ago, parents are not so supportive in sending their kids to art school. But I think now that we see that the success of like NFT, success of like UX web developers, they're earning like a lot of money. So I think parents are a lot more keen to send their kids to these like creative fields nowadays.
So I must have imagined that Miss K, you are also a very proficient Adobe Illustrator user.
Yes.
Oh wow! So you also do like digital artworks?
Yes, I do digital artworks, like logos. I did design my own website.
Branding, like even content for social media.
Yes.
Or how about
I do handle my social media and the website by myself.
I see. So wow, okay. that's very interesting. As you have like multi-talented, you are not only like in the traditional medium, but even in like online media. Wow, you are okay. That's
I do want to add one more thing. So a lot of people now, they're like on TikTok and Instagram and Pinterest.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of like liking and sharing of different sort of materials. So I think there's a lot of content to like absorb in the everyday life. That it has brought up a lot of different things like art copyrights. So like who has the right to this image, and like what does it, where are the boundaries of copying art, things like that. And a lot of kids nowadays are on TikTok, so there's a lot of like trendy art trends that come up, and it gets people a lot more excited about creating art. Definitely.
Yes, so we can see that how technology has changed like in a form of art, like content has been pumping out every single day.
Every day.
So okay, thank you so much. And right now we look at the comments. Henry Chua says hi to you. Is that a hi? It's a clap. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Henry.
So okay, guys, to all of you who are watching, so once again, I would like to repeat, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. We are more than happy to answer your comments, okay? And right now, we will move on to the next question. Yes? Is that a question? Oh, so sorry. My assistant just, my video assistant right here just reminded me there's a question because on my screen it doesn't show up. So weird, okay? Facebook, please fix it. So there's a question from Cindy Tan before we move on to the next question. Cindy asked that, how young can a child start art lessons?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, of course, we'll leave it to the professional right here. Miss K, how do you want to answer that to Cindy Tan's question?
Okay, let's see. Calvin, what do you think is the youngest?
For me, right, I would think that when my child is like young enough, like how do you say, old enough to like walk, or they're picking up a pen to draw on their paper, and they can talk. I would guess around 6-7 years old.
Yeah, for our company, the minimum I tell parents is that as long as your kid can hold a pencil, then they should be able to be in the art class. But I think kids can start as young as, I think, as when they just like start sitting upright, and they can just play with paint on their hands, or even like using just like a straw to blow paint is also still like making art.
So, okay, right now I have a question. What age is the youngest that you have teach for your students? Youngest students that you have teach?
Probably 3.
3 years old. So,
yeah.
Can you bring us through like how a typical lesson will be with a 3 years old? Because I imagine that the 3 years old is barely walking and barely speaking. So how you handle it? Like, because they aren't listening to what you are saying. They cannot understand what you are saying. Yes.
So this 3-year-old that I taught was actually, I never met the kid in person. I've only met them online. So I started art lessons with them online.
Online. So
online, yeah.
Even harder to imagine. How can you?
So the lesson is basically very, very basic. It's on circles, triangles, square, and then the primary colors. So the parent always sits next to them, but I always tell the parents, like, don't try to interfere so much, because it's quite distracting when the parent like takes the pencil away and they're like, no, you're not supposed to do it like that, because they're so young, right? So a lot of body movement. I stand up, and then we have to like, okay, everyone like touch their face, like what shape is our face.
The students will really respond to you, like looking at the screen, like really touching their face like that.
So then after we like touch it, then they're like, okay, now we can go to our paper and we like draw a circle. Circle is the shape like of our face, like that. And then we go through like the whole face, and they end up actually doing it.
Oh wow. Like not only
but
one,
the coloring maybe not that strong yet, but the drawing is, they're able to follow, which is good.
So you're conducting it in like a group session?
No, these are one-to-one sessions.
One-to-ones. Oh, I thought like they are 5 or 6 or 10 years old. How can you focus on them? Oh, it's one-to-one. Oh wow, that's first time I heard this in my life. Like 3 years old.
Yeah, 3 years old.
Art classes to 3 years old. Wow. I'm sure that if next time, right, if you are conducting something like this, if you can ask for the parents' permission, and maybe you can record it down. Do you have like any forms of recording done, like teaching 3 years old?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
not 3 years old.
I think you can, in the future, if the parents allow, maybe you can record it and upload it onto social media. So I think that many people might be interested to find that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, how a 3 years old art lesson is like
online.
Some more done online. You're not even beside him or her. Okay, this is very eye-opening for me. Okay, by the way, there's a lot of questions. Okay, right now we go to the next question first, then we go through the comments one by one. Okay. So after the technology, right now we know that it's pandemic, right? I have a question. Of course, right now I think all of us is going through tough times, and wow, suddenly the mood become very down. Okay, let's lift it up a bit. So how would you think that art education has changed like in these pandemic times?
So similar to like the rest of the the rest of the education sectors, everyone has started to go online.
Yes, of course.
So understandable is like it's quite stressful because everyone sort of has to like adapt to this like new way of learning through Zoom or with the iPad or like the laptop. But I think definitely people have started to realize that art is actually a really big part in helping us sort of like survive through the day, because painting or drawing can be very therapeutic.
Yes.
Where you sort of block out everything that's happening in the world and you just focus on like this beautiful thing that you're creating, whether it's beautiful or not. You still like take the time and your effort to put into this piece, and then once you finish with it, you feel a sense of accomplishment.
Wow.
Other than that, definitely the way that we show art is a lot different now. We have like virtual art galleries where you can like tap into the entrance and sort of like go into a virtual space,
like a virtual
where you
tour,
see, yeah, and then you can like see the paintings virtually.
So,
but I hope that
okay,
we can get out of this pandemic soon.
yeah,
So
of course, we are
like
all of us are hoping that. So how about like your lessons, your art lessons right now is also going online, right? So normally, like, is it any challenges for you? Like, because right now you are not there with them physically to guide them one by one, all the steps and everything. So it must be quite difficult. Like maybe they draw something and then they show you to the screen. Like, is this correct?
Yes.
Or yeah, stuff like that might happen, right?
So definitely we had to decrease the amount of mediums that we offer. So we tried to keep it to very traditional ones like painting, drawing. I think the most difficult art lesson to teach that we do offer is clay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their house don't have clay, right?
No, we send them the materials. So I actually we did a clay class yesterday. It was difficult. And so the kids sometimes get frustrated, and that's when you really have to improvise on like changing the lesson.
Wow.
Like
so,
midway. Yeah.
Also, you send the materials also to the students'
Yes.
house.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good to hear. Wow. Okay, so thank you so much for answering my questions. And right now, it's time to answer our audience's question. Okay, first of all, let me check. Let's go through the questions one by one. Here I have with me from Jamie. How do you work art with elderly people?
Okay, so pre-pandemic, we did have art for senior citizens, people that are like 60 years old and above.
Okay.
So what they do is that they come to me, or usually it's their kids who approach me. And when I listen to their story, they say, hi, right now, all my kids have sort of like left the nest and I'm all alone. I don't really have much responsibilities. I don't have to cook anymore. It's mainly girls, mainly women. I don't have any responsibilities. But when I was in secondary school, I loved to do art. I was a very good painter. But after I got married, after I had my kids, I just had no time to like restart to do art anymore. So now I want to like restart my art career. So then we really start from zero again, mixing colors, going through teaching them like about space, about like tones. But if they do want to do more like expressive artwork, things like art pouring, or maybe more like arts and craft base, then we do that too, and they get really excited and they just love it.
I see. Actually, quite touching. Hearing this, like they are trying to like go back to their childhood memories.
Yeah,
like
it's so much better than you turn 60 and then you just like watch TV all day, or like you don't really know what to do with like your life. So they like go back to their hobbies, which is like very inspiring.
Right now, I feel bad already. but I'm not 60 yet. So maybe when I'm near 60, then it's time for me to go back to my childhood memories. So also I have with me 𝗪𝗏𝘂𝗲𝗓. She said that art is so essential in processing what is happening. I love what you are doing, Miss K. And also, yet again from
Thanks, Sarah.
next from 𝗥𝗀𝘀𝗲𝗃. What is art and what is not art? Well, I think this is a very subjective question. Like, what do you think? What is art and what is not art?
I think art is. Let me think how I should answer this.
Please don't ask me. I'm so afraid that you'll be like, Kelvin, what do you think? What is art and not art?
I think that like art is anything that you put meaning to. But especially like
Put what?
if you
Pardon?
talk about art is anything that you put meaning into.
Okay. Meaning.
So it can be like the art of taking care of like a child, or it doesn't necessarily have to be like paint or pencil and paper. It can definitely be like a movement, like could be art, or like a
Music.
stroke, or like music, like could be art. Really anything.
Okay. And what is not
I
art?
know that's a very like conceptual answer.
Yeah. And
but
what is not art? Like anything
what is not
yeah,
art?
everything opposite from what you just said, lor. Then it's not art, lor.
No, but this is like quite a broad question.
Yeah, very
because,
broad
like,
question.
In art history, like after like the Dada movement, basically everything like can be art. But that's like a whole other like can of worms to open.
Yeah. So 𝗥𝗀𝘀𝗲𝗃, maybe you can try to like maybe form your questions more clearly or more detailed, maybe so we can answer you like in a more clearer way, okay? So before we move on to the next question, let's do one more question from the commenter. Let me check. Okay, Cindy Tan again. Cindy Tan asked that, and if can, does any colorblind child appreciate color artwork? Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, that's a question. Can any colorblind children appreciate color artwork? Or means, can they appreciate artwork? Because maybe they are colorblind, they can only see like black and white. But let's say the painting is in a lot of colors. Like
Definitely, I think like even though even like a blind person can still like appreciate artwork, because let's say like certain paintings that are in pastel have a lot of like texture to them. So in a way you can still appreciate the art like through like touch, or even like through sound, like Calvin, you said like music.
Okay.
So the answer is yes.
The answer is yes. Okay, thank you. So okay, right now we'll move on to the next question of the live, and to those of you who are watching, so there are a lot of questions coming in, so feel free to keep on asking. Later we will be clearing all your questions, okay? So don't worry. So so sorry about that. Miss K, so next question for you. I think this is also a very subjective question, but I have for you is that, what do you think makes a good art teacher?
Okay.
What are the qualities in a good art teacher?
Okay, so in my company, we only have teachers that go through a professional, not professional, but they get a proper art degree. So they go through like the 2 years or diploma in arts or bachelor's in arts. Right up to we have teachers who do their master's in arts. And they must have some sort of teaching experience in terms of like handling large groups or working with children and adults. So I think this is quite important, because a lot of art centers that are opened up by people, or also the teachers within these art centers, they tend to be hobbyists, where they just pick up, they just like play with paint and they make a few paintings and then they're like, I'm an artist, like I can teach now. But I think when you do go into art education, it's important to have like this sort of background, because then you really understand like properly how to use this material and then how to talk about art.
True.
And then with the experience comes like, if I look at this picture on the internet, how am I going to teach the kid in the most simple and easiest way to get our point across? So like, for example, like we can use, like if we see like this like artwork of like a deer.
Okay.
So most people who don't really know like how to teach, they would just draw like the whole body, and then they say like, okay, just follow me, just copy it.
I think
Like
the traditional, I'm not dropping names lah, but last time when I used to went to the art school when I was in primary school, I think the typical art lesson is like that. Today we are going to draw apple, so just follow what the teacher
just like
teaches.
follow what I'm doing. But I think like if you break it down into things that people like can understand. So for example, like, okay, now like for the deer's head, we do like an oval, and like the ears, we can see that it looks like the shape of a leaf. So when we say like shape of the leaf, then in your mind, you know, oh, I've seen what a leaf looks like. I know what the shape is. So in that way, I can draw it. So as we go like through that process, later on, it will become easier for anyone when they look at a piece of artwork. It's easier for them to break it down, and it's not so overwhelming.
I would say more out of the box.
Yes,
thinking
and you don't
style.
rely so much on the teacher later on too, and you can go on and do your own artwork without any help.
I see. Okay, so thank you so much for answering this question. And right now, time to go through the comments again. Okay.
Wow, is there a lot?
Yeah. Okay. Still have. Okay. So 𝗥𝗲𝘁𝗵𝘁𝗵 said that my question just now is supposed to be deep, like what is art and what is not art.
Oh, I see.
With 2 exclamation marks, by the way. And okay. Oh, here we have a very important question by Kenny Chua. Miss K, are you single or available?
Oh, I'm not available. Hello? No. We're having some technical difficulties. Everyone, please stay on the call.
Okay, we are back in the live. I'm so sorry, guys. It's my fault. Okay, my name is 𝗟𝗲𝘁𝗵𝘃. It's not Miss K's fault. It's my fault. The battery died on my microphone, so that's why just now my voice suddenly disconnected halfway. Yeah, I'm sure that all of you still staying with us, right? Okay, so sorry about that. There's some technical issues. Yeah, because we are doing live, right? Please accept my apology right here. Okay, so a lot of these unexpected things might happen. Okay, so let's go through again the questions just now. Okay, I have with me. Can you try us? Very important question just now, halfway interrupted. Miss K, are you single or available? Actually, single and available is the same thing, right?
Yeah, it is the same thing.
I think
So I think
he's
no
about. I
options.
think he meant that. Are you single and available?
If the question is single or available, I guess I don't have an option to choose.
Yeah.
But if the question is single and available, the answer is no.
Okay, the answer is no. Sorry, Kenny, the answer is no. Okay, right now we move on to the next question by Jamie Khan. how do you use art for communication with special needs people who have soul speech?
Who have slow speech?
Yeah.
Slow speech.
I think slow speech. I think she meant to say slow speech, but it's SO. So okay, let's ignore the speech. How do you use art for communication with special needs people?
I don't have experience in art therapy, but a few of my teachers do have experience in working with special need kids.
Okay.
So with special need kids, we do have to go and see what sort of like condition or how severe like their condition is, and then from there we do cater the lessons like towards them. So for example, I do teach a boy who has like mild autism.
Okay.
And he does not like to draw or paint because he likes to use like his hands a lot. So a lot of the lessons that we craft for like this kid is a lot of sculpture and having to do with like a lot of color. So like forming like their favorite things like cars, or maybe like insects, or like everyday things like bottles and things like that. And then from there they do gain the confidence with the teacher and also like within themselves to continue to make art, because it makes them feel like they are good at something and they're confident in making it.
I see. Wow. So thank you so much. And how right next we also have a few questions from 𝗟𝗂𝘀𝗲𝗃. Wow, so okay, wait. How can art help people in their mental health during this pandemic? And he also asked that, can art help school children to improve their learning? Because you know that Malaysian parents, they tend to focus more on the academic aspect of a children instead of like the art side.
Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat the first question?
First question. So sorry. Okay, how can art help people in their mental health during this pandemic?
I think by practicing art every day can definitely set a routine for you during this pandemic, especially if for those who maybe have lost their jobs or don't really have a set schedule for themselves. They can set a time every day to do like a prompt, like today I will learn how to use watercolor, and then that can be like a journey for them like throughout the whole like pandemic. And then they can also paint whatever is like in their home or outside of their home, and by completing the artwork every day and setting a schedule, it will definitely do a lot for your self-esteem and also for your mental health.
Yes, correct. And how about the second question is that, can art help children or students to improve their learning?
Yes, definitely. So a lot with like I think it's the left brain or the right brain, we use it to do like things like math and science, but we also have to exercise the other side of the brain because it does allow us with our problem solving. Like for math we do like, okay, A plus B equals C. How do I get there?
Yes.
So when we do art, it will help us with this problem solving. Like, okay, I need to mix like this shade of brown, but it's a little bit like too dark. So how can I get to this? Okay, and then if you do get to it, or if you don't, it helps you to, how do you say? It helps you to be okay with making mistakes too, and that nothing can always be perfect.
Understood. Okay, so thank you so much for answering the question. And next, the next question that I have for you is that, because right now you're in this business like private art lessons instead of traditional art centers, and right now you are conducting all your lessons via online. So
yes,
can you detail some of the challenges or benefits that someone might face when embarking on this type of business? Yeah.
I think in any sort of education business, there's a lot of challenges like within it, but the social sort of dealing with the social aspect is quite difficult because it's humans, right? So no human is the same, and you can't be like, okay, kid A is 8 years old, kid B is 8 years old, and we're going to teach them the same thing. So that is definitely the most challenging part, because of the different levels. And also, I think the parents versus the kids' sort of expectations are very different because the parents are of like a different generation. So they have like already set sort of ways on like how the art is supposed to look like, or how art is like supposed to be. But then with kids now growing up with like digital artwork and like all the different sort of social platforms, there's also a different way that kids know that art should be like this way. So sometimes like when we have maybe a kid doing the artwork and then the parent will sit next to them in the class, you can see sort of sometimes the parents will be like, no, this is not how you're supposed to draw it. And then the kid will be like, no, mommy, like, let me do it myself. So that's definitely like my biggest challenge. Definitely dealing with like the new generation, the old generation, and then how to get everyone to understand like this is the sort of like new way that we're trying to do.
You need to find a balance in between.
Yeah.
And how about some of the benefits?
Oh, the benefits. I think the benefits is still social. You get to see, it's very rewarding to see people improving on their artwork. Or sometimes people like just stop the art classes because they're like, Miss K, like I already know how to do it myself. So like, thank you so much for teaching me like all the skills that I need to like go on and do my own artwork.
Like it makes you really happy or touched, like when you see someone that you teach had finally like develop or mature enough to like embark on their own journey.
Yes, because like the art teacher is there like to guide you and also teach you as well. But ultimately, like at the end, like once you've learned a lot of things, then when you are able to do it yourself, like that's like the most rewarding thing.
Okay, so thank you so much. Right now we'll move on to some of the questions. Let me read. Still got what questions left that I have not asked yet. Just now, 𝗶𝘁𝗵𝗃 also asked that what is the most difficult part about the art business? I think you have already mentioned your challenges just now.
Yeah.
So you have already answered his question. And also from 𝗟𝗂𝘀𝗲 again. Besides teaching, do you paint as a professional artist? It would be great to see your art piece on my wall. We have your top #1 fan right here.
Yeah, I do paint on my own time, but definitely the pandemic has slowed a lot of artists and the professional careers down because the art market has definitely taken a halt. It's not considered an essential item to buy. So a lot of artists have started to find their footing in other sorts of careers. So like teaching, or maybe they paint murals, or they do other things, because if you are an artist during this time and you're thinking about selling your artwork during this time, it's very, very difficult. So I have painted a few things. I think the one at the back there is my own artwork.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so right now, to those, let me repeat some of my keynotes. So to those of you who are watching, so please be sure to like, share, and follow Focus Time on our Facebook page. Okay, just follow us, and also share this live video out to your friends and family. And last but not least, most importantly, is that please feel free to ask us any questions if you are watching. We will be more than happy to answer your comments. And right now, we'll move on to the final question of the live. Okay, of course, we need to end the session. Normally, we end our session with advice giving like some, okay? So what advices would you give to all the aspiring artists or creative individuals out there?
I think definitely to learn from someone who is quite experienced in the art field, and not to learn from someone who maybe will demoralize you in the process.
True.
And that will definitely help you to continue your artwork like right up till you're at an old age. I think the second thing is definitely not to think about your artwork as good or bad, whether my artwork is beautiful today and then yesterday it was like ugly. It's more about the process and like the growing experience that you do along with your art, because it is something that comes out of you. Sometimes you don't even know why or like how you chose those colors or why you chose to do it in paint or pencil. So just continue to do it whenever you can. It will definitely help your soul and also like who you are as a human.
Yeah, so just now you mentioned, I guess it can also be a form of abstract art, right?
Yeah, it can be a form of like therapy to yourself, a therapy that you give yourself.
Understood. Okay, we have another question from Kenny Chua. What are the 3 major elements of painting?
The 3 major elements of painting?
Yep.
I think probably...
What do you think are the 3 major elements of painting?
I don't really understand the question. The 3 major elements, probably space, color, and concept.
Okay, maybe you can elaborate more on these 3 that you have just mentioned.
Okay, so space is how you place the different elements in the painting.
Okay.
So like, for example, if you were to do like, I'm just going to bring this deer painting back.
Okay.
Like whether you place the deer in the middle, how big or small that you draw it will impact the space within the painting and how people see it.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Space, and then color. So color definitely plays in any artwork. Why did I choose to do a lot of warm colors in the background versus cool? Definitely changes the whole artwork of the painting. So let's say I did the background black, then it would be a very dark painting.
Maybe
and then when you hang it,
maybe it's at night.
Yeah, maybe like
it's at night. Yeah.
And then concept goes back to like what is the meaning behind it. So this one, like, that doesn't really have much meaning behind it, but when you do your painting, the meaning behind it definitely is a big part of it.
I understand, like the purpose, like the thought process.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much. And we have some comments from Christine 𝗪𝗂𝘁𝗲. She said that I love art. Art is such a therapy, and she agreed that art is not to be judged, and also the process is very therapeutic. The coloring and the colors is definitely our expression and extension of who we are. And she also agreed with your 3 elements of painting, which is space, color, and concept. And she's taking notes on them. So
thanks, Christine.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christine. Wow, your support is absolutely needed right here. And yeah, I have some side questions for you. Just I think out of topic lah, I would say maybe Miss K, can you briefly introduce like what are your favorite artists to the audiences?
My favorite artist. I do love this.
Like how about artist. Like maybe like traditional or maybe even contemporary or like modern types, like in all forms of art.
Okay, I'm not really into I'm more into like contemporary artists. I do love this one American artist. Her name is Dana Schutz.
Okay.
So,
okay. Maybe
it's like DANA.
Okay.
And then SCHUTZ.
LULTZ, right? Okay. Okay. Maybe later I can go and have a look. Dana Schutz. Okay. So
yeah.
Why?
Her paintings are really interesting because she paints from everyday life. So she takes inspiration from how she lives her life. So she has like one painting where it's called, I think, Swimming, Crying, Smoking. And it's like of this girl and she's in the water crying and smoking at the same time. And it's so chaotic, but the way that she does it is so so funny and also very like beautiful. I think she has another one where it's a girl and she's just like on the phone and like it's raining, and it just means like a lot to me because I think it reminds me of like being homesick and like being able to call your friends or your parents. But the style that she does it in is very like cartoon, not very serious, but at the same time very painterly.
Maybe later, right, you can, after the live, you can share the link and also the name of Dana shirts
Yeah, sure.
in the comment section of this live. So maybe more of us can go and click and have a look at what you love so much about Dana shirts. And can the host type it out? Yeah, in the chat. Okay, yeah, Christine, later we will have the name and also the link of the art that Miss K just mentioned, so we can all have a look. Yeah? So for me, right, actually I have two favorite artists, but I'm not sure whether you heard of them or not. I just want to share lah, okay, basically. There's this girl, both of them are Japanese. There's this girl, there's this lady in Japan, her name is 𝗪𝗶𝘁𝗵𝘃.
Okay, I've never heard of her.
You think you know her?
No, I've never heard of her. But there's so many artists in the whole world.
Yeah, and there's so many artists in Japan. She do like very colorful, like she basically, when she do arts, right, she will sit in the room and then she will like have like a meditation session before she start, and then she will take a brush and splash paints all across the wall. But all her paintings is normally resemble like the traditional Japanese element like dragon.
Yeah.
And they are all always like mirrored.
Mirrored? Cool.
Like how do I explain that? I don't have the words to explain them, but basically it's like, it's mirrored, like left and right side is equal to each other and is filled with hundreds of different color.
Cool.
Yeah, something like that. And when she finishes her art, normally her body is like all covered in colors, like paints.
It reminds me of there's this another Japanese artist. There's a documentary on it called Cutie and the Boxer.
Okay.
Like cutie as in like cute and the boxer.
Okay.
And it spotlights on this artist. His name is Oshio Shinohara. So what he does is that he puts like a cloth or paper on a wall, and it's huge.
Okay.
And what he does is he wears boxing gloves and he dips it into paint cans, and then he will like box the wall. And it's so cool because they call it action painting.
Action painting, okay.
Yeah, and like it's so cool because like it's like you're using your whole body. It's almost like a dance to make like a whole artwork.
Okay, this one I need to check out.
Very explosive.
This
very
one I'm
explosive.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that sort of art is like very interesting. Something different, you know, than just painting on canvas.
Oh wow, this one I need to check it out. Maybe you can also share the name also.
Yeah, I'll definitely share it and the documentary too.
And okay, we have some comments here. 𝗟𝗂𝘁𝗲. Can we please share the artist you like? Yeah. Yeah, just now I shared. Yeah, just now I shared the 𝗪𝗶𝘁𝗵𝘁, and also one more Japanese guy. Well, this is much more weird, I would say. There's this very famous Japanese artist called Hajime Sorayama.
Okay.
He's a very old uncle already. I think around 50 something, 60 years old, and he's involved in a lot of collaboration with a lot of fashion brand. Because me, personally, I'm into fashion, like streetwear and fashion brands.
Yeah.
So he always have many collaboration with the fashion brands, and his art style is more like cyberpunk and metallic. One of his most famous art piece he's painting is Marilyn Manson. But the not Marilyn Manson, right? Not Marilyn.
Marilyn.
Who's the
Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn Monroe. Sorry, Marilyn Manson is
Marilyn
a singer.
Manson
He's a singer. Oh my god, that guy.
Death metal.
Yeah, the death metal guy. Okay, so sorry. Marilyn Monroe. She has a very famous scene, right, where her skirt flew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this Japanese uncle right here, he just transformed her into like a metallic robot.
Oh,
Same pose and everything. Yeah, and also he also draw like T-Rex dinosaur, but also in like full metallic. And normally his art piece, like the real life art piece, is also like will be like in presented in exhibition and stuff like that, and it's all metallic style.
Did he do it? Did he do a collaboration with Dior?
Yes, he did a collaboration with Dior. There's this T-shirt, Dior,
Sorayama,
with the dinosaur, with that dinosaur in the middle also. Yes, correct. Yes, I think
know what you're talking
about. Then I think you know who I'm talking about. Yes, I love that. I love that uncle. And normally his art is more like a bit pornographic and sexual content inside also. Like his
Yeah,
robot
I
related.
think like Bella Hadid was like collaborating with him to do the Dior.
Oh, really?
The
So
Dior, I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, so these are two of my favorite artists lah. And both of them
That's
are from Japan.
I'll definitely check them out.
Yeah,
Love
I will
it.
check out your Dana shoots and also just now the cutie and the boxer. I really want to see
Yeah.
that, like how he did it, like action painting.
He's really old too. I think he's like 70 or something.
So that documentary about him boxing is like many years ago, is it? It's like a
It came out in 2013, but the documentary is him when he's like quite old, because I think he still does it.
oh, okay. So
Yeah,
so all of his paintings are done through that way.
that technique. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. First time here I heard something like that. Okay, and also I think we have one more questions to answer from Henry Chua. So Henry Chua asked that, what do you think of Malaysian awareness towards art while comparing with other countries?
That's a good question, actually. Definitely nowadays, the art appreciation is becoming a lot more. People are like appreciating it a lot more. I think it's definitely due to like the increase of sharing of artwork on like social media. It's very easy to send a picture. But in terms of like art awareness, I think it still definitely needs to do a lot of improving. I think there was like a huge signboard somewhere in KL saying that like less than 20% of the Malaysian population has like been to an art gallery.
Yeah.
But I think it's also because like there's not a lot of art galleries in Malaysia,
So
or even like our what is it called, 𝗪𝗶𝘁𝗵𝗘.
yeah, okay. Sunny Lucas.
Yeah, I think not a lot of people like have been there or like are attracted to go inside.
Actually,
it.
I'm
So,
very
like,
interested
they're
to
like,
explore.
Where is it?
Actually, I'm very interested to explore like art galleries or art exhibition, but I've never been to one before. I
think like
I'm really
also
open
feel
to
that
try.
It's very intimidating to go into an art gallery because they will be like, excuse me, like, do you want to buy something? Or it's like white walls. Sometimes it's very like cold and you don't really know like what you're doing in there.
Maybe
but
not galleries, maybe like pop-ups or exhibitions.
yeah, like pop-ups or exhibitions.
Like,
There's a lot coming up.
Yeah, I remember there's this place in, the Zhongshan building.
Yeah.
I think they have
it's
like a
closed
space
now.
Yeah, right now it's closed. But I remember last time there's this space, they always held like art exhibitions or art pop-ups over there.
Yeah. No, I think that Zhongshan building is like closed.
Closed.
Yeah, I think it's closed.
Because when you say closed, I'm like, yeah, EMCO closed. But you mean closed?
I think so.
Like, that's very sad to hear, like, because it's like a piece of history.
Yeah.
Really,
I'm not really that sure.
Really close.
I think so.
There's
a lot of like artist collectives. So what artist collectives are is that it's like a group of maybe like 5 or 6 artists, and what they do is that they rent out like a shop lot and they make it into their studio, and then they have their studio will be like an artist collective. So for example, one of my friends are in one called Timu Studio, and they just set up exhibitions like whenever they want. So like, hey, like Calvin, like our art studio has an exhibition like this week, like just come, like chit chat, like it's quite informal, just look at my art and then we can like share ideas. There's a lot of that coming up nowadays.
Done via in their studio lah.
Yeah, in their studio.
Not like renting out a space like in somewhere else.
No. Yeah.
I see.
Like makeshift exhibition. So it doesn't have to be so proper, like white space, hang on the wall, send invitations. Yeah.
I see. Okay, we have one more question from 𝗟𝗂𝘀𝗲𝗃. Okay, so I think he's asking, okay, Christine also said that it can be very scary for some, yes, agree, it can be scary for some people in the gallery, it's true, because it feels like I need to buy something, like what you said, it sounds intimidating. And also 𝗟𝗂𝘀𝗲𝗃 asked that, who are your favorite Malaysian contemporary artists?
Who are my favorite?
Yeah, maybe you can share some.
Malaysian?
This one I'm not familiar. So sorry about that.
Let me think.
Maybe who are some of the famous ones or the more popular ones?
Let me think. Contemporary artists. I don't really have a favorite Malaysian contemporary artist. It's not that interesting. No, I don't feel like it's that interesting. Maybe because a lot of them, the Malaysian art market is very saturated with a lot of paintings. And the people who are upcoming have tried like sculpture and installation, but I think the standard is still like not really there. A lot of the topics that come out of the art market have to do with like self and like feelings. So when you see the paintings or sculptures out there, it's always like, this artwork is about like sadness or about like happiness. So it's not very in-depth. So that's what I think makes it like quite boring. Or it'd be like, this is a painting of the banana tree I saw in Redang. And it's like, okay, that's it. You know, it's like, oh, that's cool, but like
very surface.
Very surface, yeah. So that's why I do think that it's not that interesting, or very political, which I'm also not so interested in.
I see. Oh yeah, I have a question. What do you think about graffiti art?
Ooh, graffiti
like
art.
urban graffiti art, because we know that throughout the streets in KL, you can see lots of graffiti art.
I do like it. I do like it a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do recognize like the signatures. I think it's called tagging, where they tag their signatures like around the city. And when I do find it like in certain places, I'm like, that's so cool. And when they like reach really hard to reach places like at the top of the billboard, you see like random graffitis. And you think about like how do they get up there? Like what time of day do they go?
Probably at night when no one's watching.
But I did have a friend who asked me like, hey, do you want to come with me at 3 a.m. to just like spray stencils on like stop signs?
Oh, where?
I was like, no, I don't want to go with you.
where
I think it's cool.
Where is he planning to go? He or she? Where is he or she planning to go?
It was a few years ago. I don't know if he ended up doing it or not.
Just now you mentioned about the tagging, their signature, right? Yeah, there's this guy, I think quite famous also. 𝗏𝗏𝘀𝗲𝗏, is it? His name is?
Yeah, 𝗏𝗏𝘀𝗏𝘏.
Yeah, his name always appear like in the
everywhere.
pillars.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Pillars and everything. Yes. Okay, so we have another question from Jin Tan. So Jin Tan asked that, what do you do when you have artist block? Okay, first of all, let me guess. Artist block is like when you are suddenly paused and you have no inspiration to do something, is it? So you guys call it artist block? Okay, I got it. Okay.
I actually wrote an article on this. I'm a writer at the Penang Art District, so I did I wrote an article on like what to do when you have an artist spot. I think it was a while ago, but one of them is to declutter your space. So sometimes like your office is.
Okay.
Sometimes if your office or your studio is very messy, it can also subconsciously make your mind very messy too. And then you can't think of new materials. And then another one is there is some apps that you can download on your phone that it's like an idea generator where you just press like generate and then it will say like colors. It'll be like blue, cat, sleeping. And that will just like give you random ideas like in your head.
But I can imagine that after that artwork went up and then people ask like, oh, so how did you do it? The thought process, I just used an idea generator. Like just like you mentioned, there's this banana tree I saw in Kedah. For yours, it's like, oh, I just tap on the idea generator app and came up with this artwork.
And another one to use is a lot of artists do like Inktober. So Inktober is this thing where like every day for 31 days in October, they give you like a new prompt to do. So there's a lot of it you can look on Pinterest, and that will give you a lot of ideas too.
I see. Okay, so Jin Tan, I'm sure that Miss K right here has answered your questions like by giving you several different suggestions. Okay, so right now I think we have come to the end of our live session. Yeah, the Result Reservation live session brought to you by Focus Time and also HCK Capital Group. So before we end our live, so Miss K, do you still have anything you want to share to the audiences who are watching? Any last messages you want to give out?
Please follow and like my company's Facebook page or Instagram page, Private Art Lessons KL.
Yes, so if you are watching and you are interested to find out more about Miss K's works, or if you are interested to sign up for her lessons, so please feel free to contact her via her website or her Facebook or her Instagram, Private Art Lessons KL. Oh yeah, one more question I want to ask Miss K. So just now at the beginning of the live, you mentioned about like art jamming session, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you also offer that?
Yes, we do like private art jamming sessions. So let's say Kelvin, like you and the boys like want to do like a glow in the dark.
No, not with
like,
the boys, not with the boys. Maybe with the girls.
Okay, with the girls. You want to do like a glow in the dark painting session.
Oh,
So,
wow.
But because of the pandemic, you don't want to like go to a center and rent it out. So we can come to your house and with all the materials, and then we like conduct the session there. And then from there, we go, and then you guys can like continue having your party.
Oh wow, I was thinking like maybe after the pandemic, maybe I'm interested to sign up for like a art jamming session or like
So we do like mainly private events.
I see.
Are people you're comfortable with?
Okay, Ken, thank you so much. Last comment from Jensen Chua. Good job, Miss K.
Oh, thanks, Jansen.
Okay, I also want to say good job, Kelvin.
Good job, Kelvin.
Okay, I'm joking around. So I guess this is the end of our Without Reservation Facebook Live. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in and staying with us for this past hour. And so sorry just now about the interruption, the technical difficulties that happened from our end, but rest assured everything is fixed and everything is sorted out. So everything went on smoothly after that. Yeah, so once again, I also like to thank Miss K for taking out her time to join our live today to share her experiences and her knowledge with all of us. Okay, so yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, so thank you so much. And yeah, so I guess that's the end of our Facebook Live. So guys, please be sure to like, share and subscribe to Focus Time on our Facebook, YouTube and Instagram to stay up to date with our upcoming videos and also our upcoming Facebook Live session. Okay, so I guess that's the end of this live. Let's say goodbye to all the audiences. Miss K.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Calvin.
Thank you.